This game was one of the most frustrating experiences that I've ever had in Assassin's Creed. And not because of the game's downfalls, and not because of the same reasons that I was frustrated with the previous Assassin's Creed games. No, it's for completely different reasons. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and whether it's worth it to play right now or whether you should just ignore it and move on to other games or maybe anything else. So without further ado, let's just get it started. And as always, as with every single one of my videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away whether Assassin's Creed Valhalla is actually worth it to buy right now or not. So the answer is this. If you have never played Assassin's Creed games and you like Viking lore, you're gonna enjoy this game. To the point. If you played Assassin's Creed games, or if you played the latest Assassin's Creed games and RPG series and you loved them both, well, you might find some of the aspects of this game good, other aspects bad. If you have played only the older Assassin's Creed games, yeah, you might find this game quite infuriating. And to be fair, in my opinion, this game is the worst of all the last three RPG games. So yeah, it's not better than Origins, it's not better than Odyssey. In some cases it is better, but in many cases it's not. It's very, very huge mixed bag that we need to actually get really deep into. So let's get into the details. So in short, let me just tell you what Assassin's Creed Valhalla is for the ones who doesn't know. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the latest of the Assassin's Creed RPG trilogy, and this is happening in the 9th century England. You're playing as Eivor, whether male or female, of course you have a choice here, and you are a Viking. You start the game in Norway and then move to England, and your goal is basically to establish the life there. You are getting into political intrigues of the world, and for the first time in full display, you're actually involved with an assassin's business. Yes, you were involved in assassin's business in Origins, well, when you actually founded the Hidden Ones, the Order. Here, Hidden Ones are actually the full-fledged working order. So yeah, you have some kind of assassins here, at least in this game. But before we're gonna go into a gameplay, let me just tell you a little bit about the story of this game, which is the biggest roller coaster that I've ever seen. High highs and very boring majority of the game. You see, my first big gripe with the game starts with an actual motivation of the main hero. In Origins and Odyssey, you had something happen in the beginning of the game and you had the clear goal of what was supposed to be happening in the end. In Origins, it was taking down the Order of the Ancients, and in Odyssey, your goal was to reunite your family and possibly and on the way take down the Cult of Cosmos. So that was an actual goal. And here, in the first few minutes, and yeah, I'm gonna be giving a spoiler for the first few minutes of the game that you can find anywhere. So yeah, if you don't want to hear it, well, spoiler alert. But yeah, I'm not gonna be spoiling anything big in the game. So within the first few minutes, you have your family killed, basically. You are one of the nobles and you have your family killed by a certain individual who, well, broke the word of sparing your parents, and he did not, and he killed your parents regardless. And as soon as this happens, and I'm telling about like first 10-15 minutes of the game, you immediately just grow up, and within the first hour of the game you get your revenge. Yes, within the first hour of the game you get your revenge. The plot that was building up the first hour of the game gets resolved in an hour. And yeah, okay, I understand that you don't want to go through another revenge plot again, but in an hour, really? And nothing is building up to anything else. Or it is, but it will not get resolved until very end of the game, 50-60 hours into the game. So okay, you just live to an England, like after around 3 hours of the gameplay, you live for an England because some stuff is happening in Norway, and you go to an England. And the entire goal of the game, the literal goal of the game, is to gain as many friends and allies as possible to have a good and thriving settlement in England. That's literally it. That's an entire goal of the game until the very, very end. Well, some things are happening at the very end, which are okay, but when we're talking about 50-60 hours of just gaining allies, no apparent reason. What? And if you thought that, oh, it's actually a very long and very fun game, well, let me quell your expectations right there. Entire gameplay loop is this. You're gonna pledge a territory, so basically you are finding someone on this certain territories of England, and you're gonna pledge this territory, and this will unlock an arc of the set territory, and you need to go to this territory, find someone in charge, and help him in some ways, like maybe retake the territories, maybe kill the enemies, or do some very, very, very basic stuff, and in the end, this individual will say, okay, your clan is now friend of my clan, and I'm gonna help you if something will happen. And then you're gonna have this arc completed, and then you're gonna start with another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and you are doing this over and over and over again. And if I will say that it's very fun, it's very cool, the stories are interesting, well, sometimes it is, but mainly it's a boring mess of doing same thing over and over and over again. Infiltrate a city, take something from the city, kill someone in the city, leave the city, or just go guns blazing, kill everyone, lay a siege, or protect your city, or protect the city from someone else's siege. That's basically, it's all the same over and over and over again. And if I would say that the arcs do not continue for really long, I would lie to you, because each arc is 3, 4, 5 hours long, and you have multiple arcs to cover. And it all becomes very, very boring. It's just dragged for the filler content. And I know why this has happened. You see, in the previous games, the issue was that in order to go and play the main story missions, you need to actually play a bunch of side missions, because you would be usually too underleveled to continue playing. What Ubisoft did in this game, they made side missions literally the part of a main quest. Literally, you are doing side quests just as a part of a main quest. That's what you are literally doing, and that's why it is bloated beyond level. And the first time I understood this was with the second pledge, where I actually retook the city for the local lord, and lord wanted to know more about her inner circle, because she was suspecting that someone actually, well, has betrayed her. And what you need to do is to go and do quests for each and every one of her inner circle members, and the quests are exactly the same. Exactly the same. You infiltrate a territory, you infiltrate a camp, or a town, or a fortress, kill everyone, or kill someone, and you get out of there. You can do it silently, or you can do it guns blazing. You can do it however you want. It's exactly the same. Yes, all the other games are doing the same as well, but at least they're doing some variations. Here, no, everything is the same. And because the entire England here looks exactly the same, except maybe northern territories having more snow and southern territories having a little more, I don't know, sunshine, even though it's basically exactly the same, everything feels 100% same. You will not be able to distinguish where you are, because everything looks exactly the same. The same hills, the same forests, the same swamps. Exactly the same. Yes, you have some old Roman ruins dotted around, but it's nothing compared to what was how varied and how different was Origins or Odyssey. They were completely different, and just by looking around, you would understand where you are. The cities were all different. The cities were different. The islands were different. They were all different. Here, it's the same thing. And doing this for 60, 70 hours, man, it is dragged beyond level. And you also have a supernatural elements dropped in there here and there as well. And man, I don't even understand what Assassin's Creed is trying to become. It does not even try to show you as an ancient civilization technology. It's just immediately gods and monsters. Just like that. There's not even explanation. You just there is Odin, there are some giants there, and there are some magical weapons and magical territories, and there is straight out magic. And I don't even understand what even they're trying to tell here. It's like the Ubisoft was sitting down, we have Viking settings, why wouldn't we make it just like God of War as well? And they just slapped some Thor and Odin and the Heimdall and things like that. I don't know, it just feels like a mess. Feels like a mess. Mainly boring mess, sometimes fun mess, mainly pretty boring. But what about the gameplay? Okay, how does it play? Well, I won't lie to you, the gameplay feels okay. Gameplay, it feels okay. It feels very slow though. The parkour is not as seamless, it's not as fast as in previous games or in previous even the older Assassin's Creed games. It's very slow, it's very clunky, but it's a bit understandable. You're playing as a bulky Viking, you're not sneaky assassin. Combat is easy, you have your dodge, you have your block, you can dual wield your weapons, which is fun. The weapon variety is not as large as I wanted to see, because yeah, you don't get a lot of loot, you don't get a lot of new weapons. which was pretty weird. Like, unlike Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey, where you could get weapons everywhere, you don't get as many weapons here, which was weird. The leveling was completely abandoned for the power systems. Basically, every level up, you are getting 2 skill points, and they're contributing to a power level. Some content was way too high power level, even though you can actually still complete the quest and fight against enemies that are way beyond your power level. As an example, at the power level of 30, I was fighting with someone with the power level of 90 or even 120, and even though it was difficult, it was pretty difficult, I will still manage to defeat this enemy on the medium difficulty. It took some time and it was one-on-one, but still I managed to do that. So it's possible, unlike the older Assassin's Creed games that was if someone was like 5 level beyond you, it was practically impossible to defeat him, like 100%. You have your extensive skill tree, which is way beyond that I thought that Assassin's Creed needed, and you have also an ability tree as well, which, unlike the previous Assassin's Creed games, is separate from the skill tree. Ability tree is unlocked through the finding of different runes and different books, and you are getting some random and different abilities there, which was a little bit weird for me. You do have the Cult of the Nations tree, like you did with Cult of Cosmos previously in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You do have a settlement control system. You're building your settlement. And because you don't have a leveling system, you can actually upgrade your gear, and you can also upgrade the rarity of the gear as well. And all of this was pretty okay and weird, but you see, majority of the systems are not even explained to you. Like, I didn't even know that you could actually upgrade your horse until pretty late in the game. I just stumbled upon it just accidentally. You can actually upgrade your horse, and I didn't even know that. And that's where the major problem for me with Assassin's Creed Valhalla just shines very bright, because every single element separately are done okay, but 90% of the game is made just to feel out the game, because the game world has never felt so full and so dense, and at the same time so empty as well. Because in Origins and Odyssey, which I will be comparing this game over and over again, because I need to do this because they did this game as well. In Origins and Odyssey, the world felt alive. The people were moving, doing their job. There were people everywhere, except for maybe deep into deserts or deep in the sea. People were everywhere. You were seeing that world revolving around you. Here, the world feels incredibly empty. Like, there is no one, and whoever is doing something, you just don't even see them. They're just very bland and just completely, I don't know, meaningless tasks, and they're just there to be the objects of your raids. And it's incredibly weird. And plus, weirdly enough, you cannot kill civilians in this game anymore. You could in Odyssey, but here you cannot, because Vikings did not kill the innocents. Yeah, right. Of course, so historically accurate. And all of this bloat just doing the same things over and over again, with an empty world, which did not feel very empty to traverse, because yeah, they have a lot of rivers. Thankfully, you could just go to 90% of the places just on your boat, and you don't even need to get a horse or things like that. It felt very boring. Don't get me wrong, the game is not bad. It's not a bad game. For majority of the people who have never played Assassin's Creed or just want to just RPG experience, they will like this game. They will not love it, I'm pretty sure. I've never seen anyone that's out loving everything about the game, but they will like it and they will enjoy the game through and through. But if you get back and compare this game to Origins and Odyssey, I would rather play Odyssey and Origins together again, back to back, then I would play Valhalla again. I would just compare this like that. I would play Origins and Odyssey again, back to back, then I will play Valhalla again. The game is available on Steam for the base price of $59.99 for tier 1 countries and $32.99 for tier 2 countries, and can go as low as $19.80 for tier 1 countries and $10.89 for tier 2 countries. Is this game worth it for those prices? For a heavy discount like that, 60-70%, yeah, 100%. For 20 bucks, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of content. Yes, a lot of this content will be boring, but you are gonna get at least 20 hours of pretty good fun. First 10 to 15 hours in this game will be pretty good, and that actually makes it pretty worth to buy, in my opinion. Is this the best Assassin's Creed game? No, not even by far. Is this the best of the RPG trilogy? No, it is actually the worst of an RPG trilogy. But is it actually a good game? Well, it is. It is. It is a pretty good experience to play. It is beautiful, even though the setting is not as interesting as in Egypt, and it plays pretty well, even though I encountered quite a few bugs, to be fair, so there is that as well, at least on a PC. And it's gonna keep you busy for pretty long time, and hopefully will give you some fun times in this long time as well. So will I recommend this game for $10 to $20? Yes. Will I recommend this game for anything more? No. Well, I guess this will be it for today. Thanks for being here with me. Like the video if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.